sometimes the strongest voice in the room is silent energy. And so today I just wanted to talk about the power of shifting energy. And just yesterday I was talking about how as you begin to really do the work and do that shadow work, you become increasingly aware of the signals that the people around you have not. And so you become aware of that. And as such, you may find yourself in situations where people are allowing their energy to kind of bring things down. Again, this comes back to polarity. And of course, you know, I love a good diagram. So my polarity diagram. And so we have a choice how we want to view the world, right? So we can view it through a negative lens or through a positive lens. And the people that we have around us have a tendency to influence the way that we see things. And so if someone around you, like, let's especially say like in work or in your family, like in a situation where you don't have a choice about getting away from them, or I should say your choices are more limited. Let me put it that way. It's not as simple to just like, it's not like a stranger in a coffee shop where you can turn around and walk away. You know what I mean? So if you're in that kind of a situation and you become aware of the fact, so this could be someone, you know, gossiping about somebody else, or just like marinating in some low energy, or whatever that looks like. Again, this actually ties back to the Empowered Communications key number 13, the art of non-reaction. And so sometimes the best thing that you can do is literally be still and hold quiet, positive energy. And when I say that, it truly needs to be positive energy, which means even though you're aware that the other person may be in kind of a negative state, be careful not to go into a place of judgment internally about that individual, because that is in fact bringing your state lower. So looking at it from an elevated thought perspective, essentially, like if you have like a relatively clean emotional palette and you are in the unhindered state, if you start going into a place of judgment about somebody else, you're lowering yourself to, at the very least, a hindered state, if not a constricted state, right? So when you find yourself in that place, when you are quietly just holding space for that, not enabling what's happening, but let's say it's a situation where you are not in a position to be able to say anything, it doesn't mean that you can't quietly shift the atmosphere by not sewing into it, you know, by even holding a good thought for the other people or person or people that are involved, by being aware of the fact that that isn't really who they truly are. That's not who they're called to be. That is them without having done the work. And so they are capable of more than that. And being able to shift your thought will actually raise the atmosphere, the spiritual atmosphere, even if you don't ever say a word. And that's one of those things that it can be really hard to learn, because I know I went through a period where I really felt like it was my job to inform people. Are you aware that you're doing this? And some of this is, I'm a person who, you know, values that kind of candid dialogue in a relationship where that kind of candid dialogue makes sense. I don't just mean like random people saying it, but you know, in a relationship where that makes sense. And so for me, I would love that, but I've discovered the hard way that not everybody appreciates that. And the fact is it's not up to me to decide what they're ready to hear, right? And by me trying to force what I see on them before they're ready to see it, I actually can inhibit the very outcome that I actually would hope to draw. So truly, in those situations, sometimes the best thing that you can do is literally just internally just raise that atmosphere. Just be intentional to just feel love, right? Because we are connected to source. And when you're in the unhindered state, sorry, I'm trying to point high enough, in the unhindered state, you are functioning from that place of love. Just feel that love and literally just let it exude from you. And don't be dragged into the mud. Anyway, hopefully that's a good encouragement for someone today, and I hope you have a wonderful day.